Tigers time.
It is hour number 2. That's drive time right here on the show that shakes the Southland, Clemson Sports Talk. Lawton Swan with you on a Wednesday afternoon. Excited to get our new guest coming on the program, Jonathan Blau. He'll be joining us from time to time, of course, covering the Clemson Tigers from the Charleston Post and Courier. We'll get his thoughts on the upcoming matchup for the Tigers versus NC State again this weekend in Raleigh. So unique, to be 4 games into the college football season, which is incredible. And Clemson now for their first official road trip of the year. And again, out to the guest line we go. Jonathan Blau from the Charleston Post and Courier joins us. Jonathan, what's going on, man? Thanks for taking time out of your day to be a part of the show.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Look, this is unique in a lot of respects, and obviously you're new on the beat for Clemson, but temperature, we talk about it being relative, and it really feels like this year for me, having watched this program for many years, the judgments that the fans have, it's partially relative, right, to what they've seen in the past, but also still on the offensive side of the ball, this is a young group. What are you hearing out of Tiger Town, and what are your thoughts on those comments?
Yeah, it's Clemson has just won a lot of football games, and they've won it by having a really explosive offense. And Clemson fans are probably spoiled a little bit by 3 years of Trevor Lawrence and, a bunch of years of Travis Etienne. And now you got a lot of new faces on that offensive side of the ball. And I think you just assume just because Clemson's been this program that's been able to go to 6 straight college football playoffs that it's just going to keep going. You got DJ Uiagalelei. He's the number 1 guy in the 2020 class as a pocket passer. You got Will Shipley, the 5-star running back. The recruiting, at offensive line, I think has been a thing people have always looked at. Can Clemson keep up there with the top tier schools, the Alabamas? It seems to be picking up a little bit, and you just think they're going to be able to plug and play and, do what they're going to do. But at the end of the day, and I think Dabo Swinney was talking about that a lot this week. I think he even said these aren't video game players. They're real human beings. They're learning on the fly, and some of it's been a little ugly, and it's below the expectations that Clemson fans have. At the same time, there's probably a balance between things that you can be frustrated about, which absolutely in terms of the execution and some of the things that they haven't been able to do to score points. You can absolutely be frustrated with, but at the same time, maybe some patience is warranted given all the new faces. So it is kind of like a balance of figuring out how mad to be, I guess, about it.
Again, you can read all his work over at postandcourier.com. Jonathan Blau joining us here on the program on a Wednesday afternoon. And, I don't know whether it's an advantage or a disadvantage for Clemson that you're 4 games in before you have your first real road test, but from the outside looking in, the confidence level as they head into this game, Jonathan, for you is?
Matt Bockhorst, if you listen to him talk, he was pretty fired up in terms of the comments he made during the week. And, I don't know if it's confident or if it's mad, if it's wanting to prove something to people in terms of, we're better than you guys think we are at this point. I think it's rather high. I don't get a sense that the confidence is lacking. We talked to DJ Uiagalelei. He's a very, passive, calm guy for the most part. He seemed to still didn't seem fidgety when we were talking to him either. I think they understand that this is a process and that, there are some things that have gone wrong and some things that haven't been great, but they're kind of sticking to that process. And I think this is a great game to kind of check the temperature of really where they are and what the trajectory is. If it's another game that's, 17-13 and they're barely squeaking it out, it's close. Maybe it's time to get a little more worried. But, if they assert themselves and they really, execute in ways that we haven't seen thus far, I think it's a sign that things are kind of trending the way you want them to be. So I think it was a really important game, and we'll see how it works out.
Jonathan, based off of DJ's play a year ago against Notre Dame, a 400-plus yard passing performance, and and as a matter of fact, leading Clemson down the field to put them in the lead late. It was really Clemson's defense that allowed that game to go to overtime if you go back and watch it. Do you think the expectations for DJ were overinflated just given that singular performance a year ago?
No, absolutely. The way he played was just lights out. And I think people are forgetting some of the supporting pieces that were there. I mean, you had a Cade Stewart and a Jackson Carman on the offensive line. You had an Amari Rogers, that just outlet guy in the slot. You just throw it to him, and he's going to go pick up yards in space. You had Travis Etienne. I mean, you had all of these veterans around him, and the situation was just different. And so now you plug in a true freshman left guard, Marcus Tate there. You take, Jordan McFadden, turn him from right tackle to left tackle. You take Matt Bockhorst, take him from left guard to center. That's a very different offensive line. That's a very different group to get used to. You don't have Travis Etienne as that, bailout guy, just hand the ball to or to find out of the backfield. You have some, Justin Ross just came back. He missed a whole year. I mean, he's kind of getting himself back into just the swing of things, it seems like, and he seems to be trending up. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think the way DJ was able to get the ball downfield, the way he was able to, just kind of thread that defense of Notre Dame, I think put expectations sky high, especially considering his pedigree and everything he did in high school as well. It just seemed like if it was just going to follow that track, it would make all the sense in the world, and it hasn't. But at the same time, it's a different team around him. It's a different set of circumstances being the guy, not just kind of preparing for one or two games and going in there. So, I think expectations were really high, and they should have been, just considering what we saw. But it's not, at the same time, when you take a step back from it, it's not completely surprising that there would be some struggles, just considering all the pieces around him that he's adjusting to. And again, just being the guy and being compared to Trevor Lawrence, that's really hard. yeah, just himself from last year is hard enough, DJ, with those couple games he had. But, Trevor Lawrence is a generational talent. Tony Elliott, I think, even said, it's tough being compared to a guy at the very end of his career. And that's kind of what DJ is dealing with right now. I think the expectations were really high. He hasn't quite met them, but it's not like he can't get there unless there's some more continuity with him and his teammates surrounding him.
On Twitter at John_Blau. That's BLAU. Go follow him right now. He covers the Clemson Tigers for the Charleston Post and Courier. And some other news that came out of Clemson this week was Lynn J. Dixon's decision to go enter the transfer portal. He's going to finish up and get his degree, which Dabo Swinney said that he was excited about. We kind of saw this brewing, so to speak, the suspension or for a portion of the opener against Georgia, and then, a weird scenario where he started the SC State game to only vanish for a little bit. Look, I think Lynn J., for people who cover and have followed Clemson and love the Clemson Tigers, kind of have known that it's kind of been a hot and cold relationship for Lynn J., maybe in this coaching staff for a while. But even still, how surprising was it, in your opinion, to see him go ahead and go into the portal this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a brave new world with this transfer portal. Guys can go in there, jump in there, get a head start. He can try to get somewhere for the spring. He's immediately eligible. Obviously, with the grad transfer rule, there was that too. But it has changed things. And when you heard some of the things we were talking about, the last couple of weeks where, there was a team rules violation, and then, he, like you said, disappears kind of a little bit in this SC State game, and you hear that he's in Spiller's doghouse, and he's got to work things out between him and CJ Spiller in terms of accountability on the field, off the field. It's kind of like he has two choices to make. I mean, it's either he's going to kind of figure out how to make this work with CJ Spiller and how to make it work for him on this team, or you go to the portal and you figure out another place to go that you feel like you can finish your career at. And sometimes, it's not either person's fault. It's just personalities don't always mesh, and these things happen. And I don't know really kind of the details in terms of how it went down, but it wasn't totally surprising. Everything we heard in terms of, there being a little bit of a disconnect there. And you have Will Shipley and Kobe Pace, who seem to kind of have passed him in the depth chart. And those are two really talented players there as well. So not totally surprising. And again, this is just a different world now with the transfer portal and immediate eligibility. And if he wants to go find a place where he can be the guy for one last year, he can go ahead and do that. That seems to be the choice he made.
Again, John's fantastic work over at thepostandcourier.com. Go check it out. And again, he's on Twitter at John_Blau. Now, you mentioned the portal. Dabo Swinney was asked about parity in college football. He brought up the portal. I mean, as somebody that's kind of watched this game for a while, I mean, is that where you lean to, that this transfer portal is creating parity where, and again, not Oregon beating Ohio State. I think everybody knows Oregon had a chance to be a really good team, may very well still be. But, I mean, some of these matchups we've seen across the country, and I don't want to say that Jacksonville State beating Florida State is an exact example of that either, but it does feel like these, quote, front runners that we've had for so long, John, are sort of coming back to the pack, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting mix of, factors this year, because you not only have the portal, and actually I came from covering IU, Indiana University, and they brought a bunch of, guys in through the portal who were juniors and seniors, 50-year guys, who they could, make their team more mature, more experienced. That's something you can do. But there's also, with this COVID year, you look at Clemson, I mean, they have Nolan Turner, James Skalski, these 60-year guys. There are more teams that have those types of players who've just been around and played a lot of football. And you get these whole groups back that were supposed to either graduate or, are supposed to be gone by now, and they're not. And so I think James Skalski even had the comparison himself. I think he was asked about it, and he said, yeah, I mean, it makes sense with this parity, because you think about, like, college basketball, all these really experienced teams from these smaller conferences. I don't know, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, like Manhattan or something like that goes on a run, against some of these blue blood programs. That's because they've all been together and they're mature, and they can, on any given, I guess, whatever day of the week basketball be played, but this is right. Saturday,
yeah.
They can win a game. And so I think that's part of it. I think the super seniors, I think it's part of it with the transfer portal too. I mean, some teams, and I think Dabo addressed this too. He doesn't like the portal to an extent, because why would you recruit a high school kid? And there's a fear that that's going to take away opportunities for high school kids, because, you're just going to go recruit the best, juniors and sophomores from college football that you can. But I think that's possible. There's just a lot going on that's changed the landscape, and we had parity before this though too. I mean, there were upsets before, so it's not completely new. But I do think that there's a little bit of an increase in that, just because of the maturity of teams, and also the ability of some of these teams to go pick off players from other programs.
Yeah, it's certainly beginning to feel that way. And I think, too, flip it from the player's perspective, they can kind of evaluate the roster and go, oh, okay, well, I'd fit in at school X. And then you see a guy like Ches Malusi, the former Clemson running back, fitting in at Wisconsin, the program that's really known to rush the football. So you can kind of post a high school decision, make another decision, and maybe better yourself for the future. Again, John Blau joining us here on the show that shakes the Southland today. Clemson Sports Talk for Tiger fans in the Midlands. The folks watching us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button to be a part of the program. And we're going to lock in with John here on the program for the foreseeable future, hopefully, as it fits his schedule on Wednesday afternoons to talk about everything going on up in Tiger Town. And from that standpoint, preseason, John, the other thing was people were talking up NC State as a team that might knock off Clemson if they were the rendition that people thought Clemson would be. How much of that, from the Dave Doran saga that's kind of surrounded his rivalry, so to speak, with Dabo Swinney, the fact that Clemson's got a huge winning streak in this series, the fact that for years NC State was kind of deemed as outside of Florida State as the other kind of football program in the league that Clemson had to deal with. I mean, this feels like one of those games where the Wolfpack and the folks up in Raleigh got to be chomping at the bit to get their hands on Clemson on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game I think before the season even started that all of us were looking at and saying this is the ACC game that was going to be a problem for Clemson just because they had so much experience. I mean, Dabo Swinney was talking about it this week. I think now with Peyton Wilson, the sophomore linebacker who got hurt, it's either 17 or 18 returning starters between the offense and defense, but still a really, really good number of players. Devin Leary, their quarterback, I think Dabo Swinney called him a baller. I mean, just a guy, just a really, really good player. The offensive line's athletic. You look at the defense, and, Georgia Tech gave Clemson some problems with the 3-3-5, rush 3, drop 8. And that's what North Carolina State does a lot of. So you're going to have the same type of issues there on the defensive side. So, this is a really interesting game. And in ways, I think North Carolina State kind of reminds me of Clemson, coming into this. I mean, if you look at Mississippi State, that loss, they passed for over 300 yards in that game. I mean, it's not like they weren't able to move the ball. They just threw an interception, right when they got down to the goal line. I mean, they get across the midfield marker and they fumble a ball. They have a turnover on downs in the Mississippi State 36. They have a kick return touchdown they give up. I mean, I think Nolan Turner said it as well. That just didn't, you watch the tape, it didn't seem like a game they lost 24-10. It's not really characteristic just looking at the score. But they are shooting themselves in the foot as well. So I get kind of which team is going to, execute better and not have those types of mistakes. I mean, they would have a really good chance of winning this game. But if I'm Clemson, this is a team that I'm definitely concerned about. There's no issue at all getting mentally, prepared for this one.
It is a strange dynamic how this entire season has sort of shifted just in one weekend with the performance against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. You mentioned that defensive look that they gave Clemson. The question that I really have still from my side, and I've tried to ask Tony Elliott and Dabo Swinney, just kind of about, how does that happen? Like, it is still hard for me to imagine that given the additional break Clemson had, that given the fact that these young men have all played football, that, I know you got a limited amount of time to prepare and they hit you with something you weren't expecting. But I saw a tweet that said, can you imagine if Vanderbilt threw something that Nick Saban in Alabama hadn't seen, what that game would still look like? And I think that's the point that Clemson Tiger fans are making, right? They're saying, look, you got better Jimmys and Joes than these guys. You got to be able to adjust and win that game decisively. I think that's probably the big concern Clemson fans have. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, I mean, that makes absolute sense because when I heard it, what I'm hearing is that you're saying Georgia Tech, a team that you scored 73 points on last year. I know with different offensive pieces, we already talked about that. But that team was able to bring a defensive game plan to you that you had to adjust to, and they don't have to adjust to you. That you weren't able to. Like, I understand they were able to run the ball well enough to be able to win that game, but you didn't run it well enough that they decided to get out of that look. I mean, if they're dropping 8 and rushing 3, your hope, I understand Clemson fans' hope would be that you're going to average more than 3.9 yards per carry in that situation. But at the same time, you do have to cut them a little bit slack where the one issue, the big issue is up front. I mean, it's just they've got so many different pieces that have moved around and they haven't quite gelled. And when you have, again, it's rush 3, drop 8, but you do have these, they call them overhang, the defenders that are sitting there, and you're in the zone blocking scheme, and you need everybody to be on the same page, those 5 guys. And if you're zone blocking and you're not keying on the right guys, I mean, it can look ugly. I mean, there were multiple times just rewatching that game. And again, it's Marcus Cady, the true freshman. He's not blocking anybody. He doesn't seem to know where to go. Those are issues. But at the same time, yes, like absolutely. When you hear that, in Alabama, you would think, or another program of Clemson, via being so successful, has put themselves up there in terms of being one of those upper echelon programs and, having so much success, everybody expects them to be able to do better than that. If Georgia Tech gives you a look, you defeat it. And so that they have to change their look. But they're not able to do that right now. That is concerning. In a way, it makes sense because of what they're dealing with. And again, these aren't quote unquote video game players like Dabo Swinney said. But it is something that has to get better. And you hope that those 5 up front get more cohesive, and so that again, because they're going to see it again. And I think Matt Bockhorst had a good quote. He said, like if the whole ACC wants to do this, they want to rush 3 and play 2 cloud, bring it on, buckle it up tight, because we did that all Saturday or whatever. But that Bockhorst and the offensive line has to back that up.
John Blau. John, man, appreciate your time. Look forward to having you on next week, buddy.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Claude.
Check out his work on the postandcourier.com. Stay with us.
Excited.
Are you thinking about refinancing your home, but worried that closing costs could cancel out any money you would save? It could happen. In fact, average closing costs for a $300,000 home in South Carolina are over $2,000. Yikes! How's that going to save you money? Cap your costs with a zero closing cost mortgage from Cap Center, your local mortgage lender.
This is our 6th time using Cap Center. And once again, the quality of service and speed of processing was excellent, and the savings are substantial.
This was my 3rd refinance with Cap Center. I've been very satisfied. The entire process is simple, never any surprises, and zero closing costs means zero closing costs.
Cap your closing costs. Visit capcenter.com. Equal housing lender. Visit capcenter.com for rates, savings, and offer limitations. This ad contains real client feedback voiced by actors. NMLS ID 67717. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Are you in the market for a diamond but aren't sure what to get? For example, do you buy a mined diamond or are you thinking about lab grown? Hey, this is Scott with Traditions Fine Jewelers, and we want to help you decide, because at Traditions, we carry a large selection of both mined and lab grown diamonds. A mined diamond is traditional. It was formed in the earth millions of years ago and was discovered and cut specifically for you. The idea of getting something discovered and cut just for you is so romantic, it can make the start of your forever together ring unforgettable. A lab-grown diamond is just what it says, a diamond grown in the laboratory that has all the same characteristics as a mined diamond. It's graded just like a mined diamond, and the FTC has even ruled that lab-grown diamonds should be called diamonds because that's what they are. What's great about lab is that you can get a much larger size lab-grown diamond for the same price of a mined diamond, and getting a larger stone is very attractive to many people. Traditions Fine Jewelers staff is ready to help you find the perfect diamond just for you, mined or lab-grown. Traditions Fine Jewelers, where the Midlands get engaged.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members, of their families or their children, asking them to deploy, patrol, stay on watch, on point, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to bring them all the way home, to keep them secure, to have their backs for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs do whatever it takes to help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Find out how you can help at findwwp.org.
We need you to help the Federation Center of the Blind continue its life-changing mission of opening more doors to blind South Carolinians. Please call us at 803-254-3777 or email nfbsc@sc.rr.com to see how you can volunteer or make a donation.
Stay on top of today's pop culture. Ace and TJ Mornings and today's hit music all day on 104.7 WNOK.
Well, that was good, huh? How about him? What do you think? John Blau, the artist formerly known as Jonathan Blau. A03. Where's the billboard? There we go. Good stuff. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just look for Clemson Sports Talk, or you can go to tinyurl.com/Clemson Sports TV. And great job, dude. I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. I wondered where he had come from. I didn't know who he covered previously. He mentioned he covered the Indiana Hoosiers. So again, John Blau's on Twitter at John_Blau, BLAU, like wow, pow, and cow, apparently. Much easier to say than Rook, row, your boat gently down the stream, merrily, merrily, merrily. So funny. I actually heard a guy, and it can be. I mean, Rook's name, Rook Ororo, is a tough one. But I heard somebody say Rook, let me see if I can say it right. Or something. I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, it's funny. It's hard to believe when the name DJ Uyunglele is not the most difficult name to say on your roster. It's also another thing to say that Uyunglele and Orororo, I may have put too many Roros in there, your boat, is not the toughest to spell. That would go to Tyson Pumachan. I think easily Tyson Pumachan's the toughest name. Phommachanh. And I would love to have the audio of the first time I had to say Pumachan on the air. That would be incredible. Because I'm sure I was like, Fomachanha? I remember thinking, where could this kid be from? And then you watch the film, man. And again, I said earlier, you wouldn't want Tyson Pumachan to have to be your quarterback today. And I do believe that still. But, man, you go watch some of the film of Tyson back in high school, doing work. 803-450-0086, 803-450-0086. Tomorrow, no Tim Beret. He's got, did he say the Ryder Cup? Is that, listen, you golf heads, you'll know. You'll already know. You'll be like, yep, Swanee, it's the Ryder Cup. Yeah, he's got the Ryder Cup opening ceremony. So, no Tim Beret tomorrow, but it's looking like we'll get our buddy Roddy Jones from the ACC Network and Sirius XM on the program with us as well. Looking forward talking to Roddy, hopefully here tomorrow as Clemson gets set for their matchup with NC State. Again, I brought this up. I think it's notable. The Wolfpack were probably one of the teams, and I don't know how many teams you put out there during the offseason and said, yeah, that's a team that might be able to knock Clemson off. Really catch them the right way. Could still beat this Tiger team if they were full board, just going after it. They were as good as they could be. I think the argument could be made that NC State had a chance in this game. And because of the way Clemson's played, it's hard not to imagine that hasn't been enhanced significantly. Now, look, maybe you would have given NC State a 10% chance previously or less, so that's one thing to be said. But, I mean, I would have to put this game at this point, if we get Clemson from week 3, maybe even week 2, and maybe even week 1, I mean, it might be a 60-40 split on this ball game. Now, Edward says my gut is the Clemson Tigers figure it out on Saturday. And Edward, I hope you're right for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, Clemson has zero margin of error. And that's the other thing that we haven't even factored into your concerns coming in this weekend. They have to know. They have to know that with a loss, they're done. They're not going to be in the college football playoff. And I get it. Every team can't be in the playoff. I get it. You can't make the playoff every year. But can you imagine the bitter disappointment of just that feeling hitting you right in the chest as a Clemson Tiger fan who's seen this team ascend to this incredible height and have the type of success that they've had, only to be sitting here 4 weeks in. You haven't even turned the calendar. I mean, it's fall today. You haven't even turned the calendar to October. And your hopes of a college football playoff, which have become fair or foul the norm, are squashed. Just like a grape. I mean, that's the thing. Like, Clemson fans right now are incredibly annoyed with what they've seen. And it's mind-boggling to a degree. Because, yeah, you're 2-1. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. And your loss is to a team that people are still championing as not only a college football playoff contender, but maybe one of the top 2 teams in the country. Yet Clemson continues to slide. What will be interesting to see is if Clemson will have a quick ascension sort of back into that top 4 or 5 if they begin to look good. Like if they play lights out this weekend, will they jump up? Will people go, oh, okay, that was just a hitch in the giddy up? Valid conversation, I think. Valid conversation. 803-450-0086. The ACC Championship game kickoff time's announced. We'll tell you about it next.
iHeartRadio brings you Global Citizen Live, a moment heard around the world. This Saturday, the biggest artists on the planet unite with world leaders to demand action on our biggest challenges. Featuring BTS, Usher, Elton John, Black Eyed Peas, Ed Sheeran, Lizzo, Shawn Mendes, Jennifer Lopez, Coldplay, and other surprise guests. Join us for this once-in-a-generation moment to defend the planet and defeat poverty. Together, we can move the world one action at a time. Hear it all day this Saturday on Global Citizen Radio with the iHeartRadio app.
Radio advertising can connect your business with holiday shoppers wherever they go. Use iHeart Ad Builder to create an affordable custom radio ad right on your phone. Just click, listen, approve, then hear it on the radio. Create your customized ad today at iHeartAdBuilder.com.
Plus tax, tags, and title with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. Emily in Red Bank was struggling after a recent divorce to reestablish her credit. She had a new job, but needed a safe new vehicle for her and her kids. Then she came to JT's Kia. JT was able to get her approved, and now she and her kids are safe and happy in a 2022 Kia Sportage, the SUV that starts under $25,000. Plus, it's helping to build her credit back up. See how JT can help you at JT's Kia. I-77 at Killian Road, jtskia.com.
It's time to get your home insanely clean. Listen, Zero Res cleans like no other. No harsh chemicals and no sticky, soapy residue is left behind. And right now, get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $119. Plus, when you mention this station, you'll get a hallway cleaned for free. Schedule online at ZeroResColumbia.com.
At Firehouse Subs, we make our subs differently because our subs can make a difference. And now it's never been easier to grab our subs to go for you or your whole crew. With Firehouse Subs Rapid Rescue to Go, you can save time when you order online at firehousesubs.com or on our app. And we'll have your subs boxed, bagged, and ready for pickup at our designated to-go areas. No lines, no waiting. Just more big, bold, craveable subs that help save lives. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs. Save more lives.
It's Colin Coward. Here's what's trending from iHeart Sports Network, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
It's been a tough start to the 2021 season for rookie quarterbacks so far. 5 were taken in the first round. The number 1 and 2 picks, Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson, are a combined 0-4 with 6 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Mac Jones in New England won his first game of the season over Wilson and the Jets, and he didn't even throw a touchdown pass. A long way to go and a lot of learning from young play callers this year in the NFL, and I'm Chris Collins.
They say lightning never strikes twice. Try 8 times. The unrivaled Mercedes-Benz SUV family is waiting to make the impossible happen for you at your local dealer. Test drive one of the 8 impressive models or learn more at MBUSA.com.
Let your voice be heard.
iHeart just made requesting your favorite songs faster and easier than ever. All you need are 4 magic words.
Alexa, make a request.
That's right. Now when you're listening to an iHeart station on any Alexa device, simply say, Alexa, make a request.
Okay, what would you like to hear?
Plus dedicate songs to friends, family, pets, anyone, anywhere, anytime.
I love music.
Alexa, make a request.
Okay.
From iHeartRadio, #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one app.
iHeartRadio.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Sports Radio. Fox Attitude. You're listening to Fox Sports Radio 1400.
Head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe today. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. It's easy. tinyurl.com/Clemson Sports TV, or just search for Clemson Sports Talk on YouTube. All right, before we get to the ACC kickoff, I did get this email. Brian Brzee inks an agreement with Fred Caldwell Chevrolet up in, I guess, the up part of the state, Clover, South Carolina. Brian will appear in TV commercials, social media, radio, digital campaigns for Fred Caldwell dealership. Included in the compensation package, listen to this, man. This is wild. This is like how much it's changed, right? Because athletes have always kind of had the best cars on campus. Not all of them, but some have. Now, some people say, that's because they've been paying them money. No. That's not how it works. I'm not saying it doesn't work that way at some places, but that's not like part of the reason some of these players have always had like the nice car on campus is because their parents have possibly saved for them to go to college. And now their child is going to college and they have zero expenses. So what can those parents do? They can put $400 or $500 a month to a nice car if they want for their child. They can if they want. Have to. But included in this deal is a 2021 Silverado RST with the Rocky Ridge package. Brian Brzee said, quote, "This truck is a dream ride. I'm so excited and grateful to Fred Caldwell Chevrolet for this unique opportunity." Named after the second highest summit on earth, the Rocky Ridge package goes to new heights. Built to tackle any type of environment, the K2 package includes 6-inch suspension, lift kit, custom wheels, and tires. So there you go. Brian Brzee going to give him a new ride. Got him a new ride from Fred Caldwell Chevrolet up in Clover. By the way, if you're looking for a Chevrolet, Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac in Orangeburg, one of our sponsors, I'm sure that they carry the Rocky Ridge package as well of the 2021 Silverado RST. I'm sure they do. I got a good feeling about that. My man Joseph Ferry, by the way, taking over that business from his dad. Saw that happen over on Facebook. Man, that's awesome. Congratulations, Joseph. Man, great people. Well, I love when I see a car with that Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac logo on the back. By the way, Alicia Kaufman, Quentin, Kaufman's meeting place. Man, I noticed her car's got that Ferry Chevrolet. Good people, good Tiger people as well. Check them out if you get time down there in Orangeburg. But how about that? Big Brian Brzee. Get him a new ride. That'll be the thing next, right? Dude, I'm not going to lie. I'd be in the Tesla. I'd be like, listen, I'm going to need Tesla to hit me up. I need the electric vehicle. Or maybe a motorcycle. Now, my dad would be angry if I drove a motorcycle, but had I been in college and had I been able to get an NIL deal and had I been able to land a motorcycle, I probably would have at least landed that as a side gig just for the parking. Like my dad's probably thinking, oh, no, I don't want you in a motorcycle. I would just drive it to class. Okay, A scooter dealership, Dad. I would have partnered with a scooter dealership. I'd have been buzzing around campus on my Vespa. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Parking right by Serene Hall. Yes, please. More of that. Well, look, this weekend's game between Clemson and NC State might decide who goes to the ACC championship game out of the Atlantic Division. Honestly, I mentioned NC State's schedule the rest of the way, and if they can beat Clemson, who knows? Plus, if they can beat Clemson, who knows who else can beat Clemson? If Georgia Tech can play Clemson to 14-8, I would look down the rest of Clemson's resume and go, ooh, could be concerning. But if the Tigers are to play in the ACC championship, and if they are on pace to get back into the college football playoff, it'll take place on December the 4th at 8 p.m. at Bank of America Stadium this year up in Charlotte, where the season began for Clemson. It may very well be where the regular season will culminate. The 12th time in the last 13 years that the ACC championship game has been held in prime time. 12 different teams have competed in the game, including a different Coastal Division team every year from 2013 to 2019, when you consider Notre Dame was the representative a year ago that took on Clemson. So again, an 8 o'clock kickoff for the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship this season. You can hit us up on the program by texting 803-450-0086, or you can hit us up by dropping us a message live on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. James says, Swanee, for a team that has made 6 consecutive playoffs to be out after 4 weeks, what a gut shot. Yeah, that's not exactly what Clemson Tiger fans were wanting to hear.
Forget you, pal. Thanks for nothing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, James. I mean, it would be hard. Like, I've had guests on the show that have said they feel like if Clemson lost again now, maybe they could climb back into it. But, buddy, at that point, I mean, when I hear somebody say that,
Okie dokie,
not exactly buying it. You would have to have this mass chaos ahead of you. If there was one factor that would give you a positive is the parity we've talked about. Maybe mass chaos would happen. Luke says, Swanee, if we lose 4 games this year, who wants to get rid of Dabo? Humility makes you stronger. Success makes you spoiled. Dabo is only 50 years old. So, Luke, is that, you think Dabo's spoiled? Or humility's making you stronger? I'm kind of, help me out, Luke. Do you want him gone or not? What is that? What are you saying here? Maybe I'm just not connecting the dots. Maybe that's on me.
You deem dumb to know how to get mad when I call you a dummy.
Yeah, maybe I'm too dumb to understand. Help me out, Luke. Are you saying that humility makes you stronger, success makes you spoiled? Clemson fans are spoiled? Oh, fans. Okay. I got you. So he's talking about fans, not himself personally. Thank you, Luke. That was deep, man. You can't listen, Luke, you can't bring like all kind of fancy philosophies and whatever, some PH word I don't even know, Socrates kind of stuff up in here. I can't handle that. CU man wants to know about Brian Brzee. I'll have to give you that on the flip side. Stay with us.
Fall is a season that's a little in the middle. It's sort of the best of 2 seasons. It's no longer a sweaty summer, but the winter chill is still around the corner. And that's the perfect time to feed and seed your lawn with Scott's Turf Builder. Better than spring, because the soil is still warm, but the air is getting cool. So your lawn gets the most nutrients in the best combination of temperatures. Feed and seed now with Scott's Turf Builder and build the best lawn for every season. Scott's, it's good out here.
When a community grows, its hospital should grow too. And that's just what we're doing at Lexington Medical Center. We recently launched the largest hospital expansion project in South Carolina history. Our new 10-story patient tower will help us take better care of patients, including the tiniest infants who need special attention. It will also make room for the growing number of patients who need surgery and intensive care. At Lexington Medical Center, our mission to serve our community never wavers. We're here when you need us today, and we'll be there when you need us tomorrow.
By popular demand, Great Southern Homes now lists their coming soon communities online. Whether you're looking for a new home in your hometown, moving to a new town, or just want your pick of choice lots, this is the place to start. Great Southern Homes invites you to put the wow in your new home with options and upgrades. Live green, live smart in your new green smart home. Show your style and personalize your new home with options and upgrades from Great Southern Homes. Find your dream home today, greatsouthernhomes.com.
Fall flex savings are happening now at Studenmeyer Heating and Air Conditioning. Now through November 19th, save thousands on a new heating and air system for your home through the Studenmeyer HVAC Flex rebates. Flex your way to savings with a new Bryant Evolution Extreme High-Efficiency Heat Pump and Air Conditioner and get a free air purifier, a $2,000 value. Financing options available, including 12 months, same as cash. Don't miss this chance to flex your way to savings this fall. Go to StudenmeyerHeating.com to learn how. That's StudenmeyerHeating.com.
Here's a thought. You wouldn't wear your PJs to an important business meeting, right? So why would you wear your running shoes on a serious walk? You need footwear that was designed specifically for walking, and nobody on the planet makes walking shoes that can even touch Skechers Go Walk Styles, the world leader in technical walking footwear. Skechers are walking shoes specialists, and Go Walk has a variety of technical walking products that will show you what your walk has been missing, like Go Walk Hyperburst with foam that's ultra lightweight with incredible rebound that helps propel you forward with every step, or Go Walk Arch Fit with podiatrist certified arch support that gives your walk the comfort and support you need mile after mile. And not only do Go Walk styles bring the tech, they bring the comfort, and with all the colors and designs you love in both easy slip-on and sporty lace-ups. Plus, they're even machine washable and surprisingly affordable. That's walking smart. So don't walk in shoes made for something else. Walk in shoes specially designed for walking. Skechers Go Walk. Find yours at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
No word in English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and Ad.
Fox Sports Radio 1400. Online at foxsportsradio1400.com. On your phone with the iHeartRadio app. And on hundreds of devices like Alexa, Google Home, Xbox, and Sonos. An iHeartRadio station.
What have you done for me lately? It's a fair question. Just don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Don't forget history. Lucky for us at Clemson, the answer to the questions, what have you done for me lately, and what have you done always, are the same. We win.
Final segment on a Wednesday afternoon, the show that shakes the Southland. Clemson Sports. John, checking out the program, says, Swanee, I miss. We also got a message from DU Man 91 that said, Swanee, what did Brian get? I just jumped on. So I got an email earlier, and it's crazy how this works. Like, I have no idea how people get these emails, like my email address. I mean, I know I give it out, Lawton@ClemsonSportsTalk.com. Like, I get that, but how this person that emailed me from this dealership got me, who knows? But Brian Brzee partnered with a Chevrolet dealership in the upstate, Fred Caldwell up in Clover, and included in the deal. I mean, he's got to do social media and radio and stuff, but he's getting him a 2021 Silverado RST with the Rocky Ridge package. 6-inch suspension lift kit, custom wheels and tires. Tell me this thing's not going to be what they call it, squatted in the back. Please tell me that, Brian. Tell me it's not going to have that. All right, several other messages to get to here on the show that shakes the Southland today, and then we'll get you on your way. Again, the ride or die. Do you ride or die with DJ? I mean, is that where you are? Are you just like, nope, I'm done. Bonnie, I wrote you at the Georgia game. I'm done. Linda chimes into the program. She says, Swanee, Lynn J. showed what the problem is by taking to Twitter instead of talking it out with Dabo. Attitude is everything. You might have talent, but an attitude like that will destroy a team. Linda brings up a valid point. Remember, Lynn J. did go to social media with some tweets that I believe he ended up taking down. Some including, I think, the number of carries maybe by the team against Georgia. Something like that. I can't remember exactly what those tweets were now. Double O chimes into the program. He says, the great Swanee. Says, I'm out by the pool, got girls to the left and girls to the right, just sitting here thinking about Clemson and North Carolina State game. In Clemson many moons ago when we were favored by 24. Bet a nice stack on the game, given 21, and we got beat down that year by 23. What a fond memory. If we don't get our act together this Saturday, it's going to be a long year. He also says, listen up. Pumachan came in the game and ran a scoring touchdown at 3:45 minutes. Give him more playing time, a no-brainer. I don't remember that, but after talking about how you spell Pumachan, I do appreciate your attempt. I see Puma and I see John. That's how I would think. That's how I think most people would spell it, Double O. Dick chimes in from Georgia. He says, Swanee, I agree that DJ has got a lot of potential to be great, but man, does he have a lot of pressure on him. Appreciate it, Nick. The B-Man in SC says, Swanee just tuning in, getting caught up. Go Tigers. Thanks for always making things clear. They have come in yesterday. Tiger Chuck. I was going to read Tiger Chuck's message the other day. He just said, man, it's a long text, brother. And it is a long text, Tiger Chuck. I don't even know if I'm going to get to it. But he did throw this. Started our flag football league this weekend. I still got it, of course. I'm the Gronkowski of the flag football in the Midlands, Swanee. I hear you, Tiger Chuck. Get after it. Tiger Chuck, when you're hoisting that championship at the end of the flag football season, buddy, and you got to give that post-game speech, please film it and send it to me. I'll play it on the show. Billy coming in late, hard and heavy. Says, Swanee, I want to hang out with Double O at the pool with the ladies. Man, you guys are too much. I'll never hear the end of it from Double O. I mean, Double O right now just heard that, and he's like this.
Today, woo, I've got the style and profile like never before.
And I'm going to have to hear about it. Thank you, Billy. 803-450-0086. That's the way you can be a part of this program. Again, Matt Bockhorst defending, and rightfully so, his starting quarterback, your starting quarterback, DJ Uiagalelei. Here's what Bockhorst had to say yesterday about Big Cinco.
First off, we're all human, DJ included, so that's the biggest thing, and nobody's immune from mistakes. But, that kid comes in here and works as hard as anybody else, and his dedication and commitment and drive are unmatched. And I know that they see maybe a missed throw, or I know that there's throws from Saturday that DJ wants back, but DJ's improving, and DJ is a proven leader, and we have faith in DJ. I'll ride with 5 until it's over. I don't care. And so, you know what, if he's not doing as well as I think he should, then so be it. But I know that myself and the other guys around him, we've got the confidence in the world in him.
There you go. We've got all the confidence in the world in him. Incredibly 2 hours in the books, man. Thank you. Take a minute after the show if you can. Head over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. It helps us grow. It helps us get more people in here. And you guys have been amazing this week. Awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock live on the iHeartRadio app and on Fox Sports Radio 1400. Until then, as always, y'all take care now and go Tigers.
Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan on Columbia's home for sports, Fox Sports Radio 1400. Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic, sponsored by Pope Davis Tire and Automotive, home of the best tire prices in Columbia, guaranteed. Fox Sports Radio 1400 traffic.
Couple of trouble spots, I-20 westbound near the Highway 1 exit, also Blythewood Road at McNulty. The 103.5 FM WVOC traffic tip line is open. If you are stuck, call 343-1055.
This report is sponsored by Northern Tool and Equipment. Looking for serious horsepower for your tough jobs? Get to Northern Tool. Monday through Saturday, they're now open at 7 a.m. to serve you better. Kickstart your workday with them and get more done. Northern Tool and Equipment. Quality tools for serious work.
Hi, it's Gary David. You or a loved one facing challenges at home with mobility and daily activities. There's help with All Medical. They've been doing it for nearly 30 years now, and they've earned a fabulous reputation. Check out their reviews online at their website, allmedicalinc.com. Simple things like grab bars or ramps, bigger things like home elevators and walk-in tubs, they can do it all. And they're growing. Looking to fill multiple full-time and part-time positions right now. Looking for great employment and a great work environment, All Medical. Call Chad today, 803-779-2011. You need to have a little experience in hand tools, some basic computer knowledge, and some mechanical and DC electrical skills. This is a Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30 job, no weekends required. If you or someone you know is interested, again, call Chad at All Medical. 803-779-2011. And again, that website, allmedicalinc.com. Or, hey, just stop by and see them in person. They're great folks. You'll find the showroom for All Medical right next door to Brooklyn Baptist Church on Highway 370.